All right, let's go ahead and get started here. I don't want to take up too much of your time tonight. Obviously, this meeting is going to fulfill your requirements for attending a USA clinic for the year 2021. This is also going to be an informative debriefing of some things that are going on with Minnesota Elite Umpires towards the latter half of the meeting. And so if you're here for just the USA part, we're actually going to breeze through that pretty quickly, so you'll have a short night. But if you're here for the latter half of the part with Minnesota Elite Umpires, it will go just slightly longer. So that being said, let's go ahead and get started here. Welcome to the 2021 season with USA Softball and Minnesota Elite Umpires. My name is Jason Smith. I am the president of Minnesota Elite Umpires. I'm also the state JO UIC for girls fast pitch in the state of Minnesota this year. So let me start sharing my screen. Okay. All right. First off, I'd like to introduce you to some of my staff. Some of them are on the call tonight. Some of them are actually on the field working. So I am the president and owner of Minnesota Elite Umpires. Pat Perkinson, who is also a board member, he is my partner that started up the company with me, and he was at one point the president, has now taken a back seat to just becoming a board member with MEU. John Schaefer took over the vice president role. He will be the league scheduler for 2021 for the Big West Minnesota Elite organizations that we cover. We have Lori Deneen. She is the cadet trainer that works very well with MEU and all the cadets that are coming through. If you've had a chance to attend one of her clinics, not only this year, but in years past, extremely informative, and she does a fantastic job training new officials coming up and through the game. But also on our board, we have Rachel Palmer, who also many of you probably know as the state UIC or state high school UIC for Minnesota State High School. Another board member we have is Martha Sorensen, and also on the board is Dallas Applebacher, who is actually on the field right now. He's on the board, and he is head of all the USA softball umpire gear in the state of Minnesota. Gets us the best deals going directly as an organization to USA softball headquarters. Our agenda for tonight, we will cover quickly 2020 and 2021 USA softball rule changes. No true changes from 2020 to 2021. Rules will remain consistent from year to year. We'll breeze through those pretty quick. Some benefits and recognition that we'll go over quickly. USA Softball Umpire website information and training resources. We'll guide you to that. We'll also talk about the 2021 league season, the Big West league season upcoming. That has been slightly delayed right now. We'll also talk about the 2021 tournament season that MEU will be covering. We'll also talk about training opportunities and recruiting opportunities as well with Minnesota Elite Umpires. All right, let's dive right in here. USA Softball Minnesota website. You can go to slowpitch.mnsoftball.com, and it has a ton of information, umpire registration, a lot of umpire resources. You can find all the invitational tournament information on there as well, along with state tournament information, anybody's contact information with USA Softball Minnesota, including mine. Obviously, you have my information from my email, but my information is also all over the website. State and district UICs for the state of Minnesota for USA Softball, and all of USA Softball Minnesota staff. All right, diving into the 2020 and 2021 rule changes. Rule 3, Section 1A, the official bat must bear either the ASA 2000, 2004, or ASA 2013, or new approved USA certification marks. Those marks look just like those. If a bat doesn't have those marks and we're playing a USA tournament, that bat is illegal and not allowed. So this playing rule, just the comment adds that they added these two new logos in there. Playing rule changes continued. The official softball must bear either the 2 ASA certification marks or the new USA certification mark. These are things that anybody that's playing in league typically doesn't need to worry about because all the balls are USA certified typically. Very rarely do we see any balls that are not USA or ASA certified. Just again, comment here, just adding the certification marks. Continuing on here, this rule just states that any defensive player may wear a helmet at any time. The only caveat to wearing a helmet, it cannot have a mirror-like surface finish on it. Doesn't limit it to just catcher. Anybody on the field can wear a helmet at any time. Next rule here, when discovered using an altered or non-approved bat, so the bat that doesn't have the USA stamp on it, or if it's been altered in some way, after completing their bat and before the next pitch, legal or illegal, the effect is going to be the batter's out. The batter is also going to be ejected. And if it's in the tournament, the player may be subject to future penalties by the tournament protest committees. And if any outs happened while that bat was used, all the outs are going to stand. And all other runners will return to the base occupied at the time of the original pitch. This is the big rule change last year for 2020, and this is one of the biggest rule changes across the board, whether it be USSSA, USA. I know even college made a slight rule change a couple years ago. In high school, this has kind of been the norm for the high school. Both feet must be on the ground within the 24-inch length of the pitcher's plate. Shoulders in line with first and third base, the pitcher shall take a position with her pivot foot in contact with the pitcher's plate and their non-pivot foot in contact with, or it can be behind the pitcher's plate. This allows for the step back. It allows the pitchers to start with 1 or 2 feet on the pitcher's plate, and they can also do the step back at that point. The pitcher, more pitching changes, rule changes here. The pitcher shall bring their hands together for not less than 1 second, but obviously no more than 10 seconds before releasing the ball. A backward step may be taken before, simultaneous with, or after the hands are brought together. So it's one of the things that we've all seen the pitchers within the last year really working on was perfecting that step, that backward step. In USA softball, they can have it with their hands together simultaneous, or already with their hands together as their hands are coming together simultaneously, or the hands are already brought together and they can step back. The pivot foot must remain in contact with the pitcher's plate at all times prior to the next step coming forward. This rule right here in particular matches up across high school, USA, and USSSA now. So all 3 organizations are virtually on the same page. There's one slight difference in the college game, but we don't need to discuss that at this point here. Illegal pitches in the girls' game. They have completely eliminated advancing the runner if an illegal pitch has been called. So if you call an illegal pitch, then the penalty is just a simple ball on the batter. We no longer advance runners in any girls' fast pitch in the Junior Olympic summer game. A lot of the officials that are on this meeting are younger officials and younger cadet officials. You've obviously heard us talk about this numerous times through the trainings. Minnesota softball initiated a zero tolerance policy in I believe it's either 2019 or I think 2019. They implemented a zero tolerance policy, and it's directly in support of every official out there. So if we have a coach that gets a little out of hand, or parents are getting out of hand, and you decide you've had enough and you want to toss them out, you have 100% support of everybody at USA Softball Minnesota headquarters. There are repercussions for those parents, those coaches that are acting irresponsible. There is an online form. If you do have an ejection for some reason, please reach out to me right away. There is an online form that I'll have you fill out that just gathers all the details from your ejection at that point. And once we have all that information in our hands, then we will act swiftly to suspend the coach upon 3 games or 7 days, whichever one is longer. JO Fast Pitch Minnesota coach ejection rule. There's 3 steps to coaches ejections, or 3 steps that you can take as an umpire. I apologize. The first offense, if you had enough of coach, hey coach, you got a warning. I'm giving you a verbal warning. You can write it down. You can remember it, saying, coach, you have a warning. The coach doesn't like the warning and decides he or she wants to continue and be a little bit out of control. You can go up to the coach and say, guess what, coach, you just got an out on your assessed to your team. It won't go against an individual player. It will go against the individual team assessed at that point. So if we have somebody that's batting, let's say they have bases loaded and a girl at the plate has a 2-2 count, and the coach goes crazy because they thought the strike 2 that you called was not a strike, and that's their second offense. Say, coach, you've been awarded an out, or you've been assessed an out, and your team is done batting at this point. If the coach at that point, or if a coach at any point gets to the third offense and you eject them and they're asked to leave the park, that's where the 7-day suspension for 3 games comes into play. At any given time, you can go through any one of these steps. You can go 0 to third offense right away. You can go 0 to second offense. But obviously we want to try to alleviate a lot of problems by heading off things with the first offense with a verbal warning. That usually calms a lot of coaches and parents down. A reminder to all the umpires, coaches are in charge of their parents. So if you have parents that are getting a little out of control, or grandma and grandpa are getting a little too excited and saying some stuff that they may not be saying or should be saying, then coach, you need to get a control of your parents and grandparents. That's your verbal warning as a team. If for some reason a coach comes back after an ejection and they haven't learned their lesson, they second eject and they decide to get ejected the second time, that suspension results in a 30-day suspension. These are indicative of a single season. They don't carry over from one season to the other. If for some reason they come back from a third or a second ejection after the 30-day suspension, and they get all riled up and they want to do it again and get ejected for the third time, it's a lifetime ban from coaching any girls USA softball organized activities in the state of Minnesota. One of the things, cadets, I know you've heard Lori say it many times at the cadet trainings, discuss this during the pregame meeting with the coaches and the captains. Hey, coaches, you are responsible for the actions of your team and all of your fans as well. That's right there concludes all the rule changes. Honestly, there wasn't a lot of, there was no updates on rule changes for 2021. 2020 was very brief and with only the handful of rule changes out there. So we'll go into a couple of the 2021 umpire benefits for USA softball. A lot of postseason opportunities for umpires this year. We have fast pitch, we have slow pitch, we have national championships in Minnesota this year. And those all can be found on the slowpitch.mnnsoftball.com under the tournament tab. USA softball umpire clinics. You know, we're actually winding down on these right now. This is the last Zoom umpire clinic, and then I believe there's two or three in-person live clinics yet to be done throughout the state. Most of them are based in the southern part of the state. Those can also be found on the website as well under the Umpires tab. One of the new implementations is a clinic attendance is a yearly requirement for all USA Softball Minnesota umpires. And you can obviously, on the clinics, you can focus on slow pitch, you can focus on fast pitch, or you can go to one that's combined. I warn you, if you're a fast pitch umpire and you go to one that's a combined clinic, it is rather lengthy and a lot of information that does not pertain to anything fast pitch. Other postseason opportunities, June 25th through the 27th, there are 10 and 12U Big West qualifiers. July 9th and 10th is the Gold State, Minnesota Gold State for the elite teams. Also that same weekend, July 10th and 11th, we have 8U, 10U, and 12U USA State tournaments. July 17th and 18th, we got 14, 16, and 18U Big West and Tri-County qualifiers. And July 24th, 25th, those age groups are the USA State tournaments that weekend. And then August 5th and through the 8th, we have the Monsta Championships put on by USA Softball Minnesota, sponsored by Monsta. And then if we're really looking far ahead, September 25th, 26th, we have Fall State tournaments that weekend. All of these can be found at Fast Pitch MN Softball or fastpitch.mnsoftball.com. National championship opportunities. These are the Northern Nationals that can be found in Minnesota this year. We have a girls 14A Fast Pitch Northern National that's going to be held in Rochester, July 21 through 25. And we also have a girls 10A Fast Pitch West National that's going to be held in North Mankato at Caswell Park that same time period. And then we have a Northern National for Region 8, girls 16B Northern National being held up in Fargo, July 28th through the 1st. Ooh, that's the wrong year there, but that's the right dates. And then we have a girls 16A USA National tournament that is just right outside our borders over there in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. That is July 22nd through 25th. Like at this time, I'd like to recognize a few umpires from that were able to go out of state and work some prestigious events throughout the country last year. There was a first ever Alliance Cup, which is an organization that was started up to bring many of the elite teams together in one single organization. That was held in Oklahoma City back in October. John Walters from Hastings was down there along with myself. Back in late July, the USA JO Fast Pitch, JO Cup Fast Pitch was held down in Spartanburg. Charlie Johnson from Hitterdall, he was out there. The girls 18 and under gold Fast Pitch was down in Oklahoma City in July as well. Rachel Palmer attended that from Mankato. And then we had girls 18A Northern that was held in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We had Chad Lydell, John Walters, Kelly Raymond, and Barb Parshell. In a men's major Fast Pitch held down in Oklahoma City, Dallas Hasselbacher was attending that. All the names that you see highlighted in yellow are all part of Minnesota Elite Umpires. So we have a very great group of officials that take their game to the next level many times. USA Softball Cadet Umpiring Program. If you haven't heard about this, I need to do a better job marketing it then, obviously. Lori Deneen does a fantastic job with the Cadet Umpire Program. Cadet umpires, they register for $50 each year. One of the agreements is if you attend a cadet clinic, it's obviously $30 to go to the cadet clinic, but then your $50 registration fee that you go to is you get $30 reimbursed from the clinic itself. So it's still just $50 flat rate for all youth umpires. With cadet umpires, you get insurance and rule books. They're all provided. And Minnesota Elite, we work directly with all cadets to try to outfit them with all the gear and clothing that they need to get on the field. That includes USA hats, shirts, ball bags, indicators, all of that. If they can't purchase directly, then directly from Dallas, then what Minnesota Elite will do is we'll pay for all of it up front, and we ask you just to work it off through your game fees. Minnesota Elite Umpires intention in USA Softball Cadet Umpire Program intention is to get youth umpires trained in fast pitch softball. You know, we encourage every official out there to give as much assistance as you can when you see them around. They're new, they're hungry to learn the game. They, you know, might even at times be a little timid. You know, rest assured, we've all been there, we've all done that, and we've all gone through this before. As a veteran official, I ask that you just, you know, take 5 seconds out of your time and talk to them about the game and how, you know, maybe things that you're seeing that they're doing that could make them better. The cadets are the next generation coming up and trying to keep this game alive and the hobby alive of officiating for us all. So the game has given us so many things. It's only behooves us to repay it back in any small way that we can. USA Softball Umpire Awards and Recognition. There's a medals program. To be a part of the medals program is a cost of $25. Umpire receives a cap certificate and a pin symbolic of the level that they achieved. So if you registered to Umpire USA Softball for 3 years of service, you get a blue pin, so on and so forth, bronze, silver, gold, 10 years if you get to the gold level. Kind of a cool little program, and to have a recognition for each of the years that you work. Some additional awards and recognition: National Indicator Fraternity. If you hit 7 years of service and you're able to work 3 USA softball national championships, you get a certificate, membership card, luggage tag, and lapel pin. If you reach the elite umpire status, which thank you, Tom, for reminding me. Dan does pay for this $25, so don't worry about the $25 thing. Dan from USA Softball pays for this. But if you reach elite umpire status, top level USA umpires who have umpired 7 years and 4 national championships, 2 in the same category of play. So, for instance, 18 gold, 16 gold, USA JO Cups. You get your name listed on the USA Softball website, receive a pin, cap, membership card, certificate, and their name listed on the National Softball Hall of Fame in OKC. And the ultimate achievement in in umpiring is the WBSC certification. It's the World Baseball Softball Confederation for international competition, both slow pitch and fast pitch competition, including the Olympics. Christina Drum for California will be representing USA Softball or in the United States at the Olympics this coming year. So it is the highest level, and you have the opportunity to travel the world if you can reach those, attain those highest levels. Blues Across America, another recognition program that USA Softball put together. It's a program that was launched in 2018 and is recognizing officials off the field for things that they do in the community and things that they do for USA Softball umpires and the regions that they officiate in. Doesn't always have to recognize how, relate to the number of national championships anyone works or anything, but it really looks on and off the field within their local association and the region, in addition to all the contributions at the next level or the national level. So we had two Minnesota entries in February of 18. Ashley Lewis, who was from Duluth at the time, she's up in the northern suburbs now, started umpiring following her playing career at St. Cloud State, and has been an umpire for 5 years now, obviously. And then myself, I was actually recognized and nominated by Tom Keller, our state UIC, for USA Softball. I've worked every level. I've worked from 8U machine pitch to men's major fast pitch to girls fast pitch to college level, anywhere in between. But the greatest joy that I get from running Minnesota Elite Umpires and working USA softball is actually giving back to the new umpires. I enjoy that more than anything else because when everything starts clicking, you can see it and they're having fun while they're doing it and making money in the process. Umpire benefits, insurance coverage for USA softball. These are all the things that your registration, $50 registration, covers you with. So if something legally happens on a field that's out of just completely out of the norm, you are covered legally with liability coverage up to $5 million. You have $100,000 accident coverage. It also has additional coverage for other sports in non-competing organizations. Your rule book, your exam, your mechanics and positioning guide are also available. We have had officials that have utilized this in years past because of just hospital visits due to things that may have happened on the field by accident. They may have slipped and rolled an ankle or something like that. The USA softball umpire uniform, the official uniform, powder blue or dark blue shirt with the USA logo on it. They've phased out in 2020 all the ASA logoed hats and shirts. Heather gray pants, USA umpire cap, black belt, black shoes, black or dark socks, dark blue or gray USA ball bag, plate brush, indicator, flipping coin, protective gear. And I put this in here because USSSA has a red shirt and a black hat. Here's the official shirts of the uniform. You can see USA softball logos on each one of them. Extremely comfortable shirts, I do have to say myself. Much better than the old styles that they had. Also, there's a white shirt, there's a pink shirt for special occasions, USA hat, and USA ball bags. If you need to get a hold of any uniforms or gear, you can reach out to me and I'll get you Dallas Applebacher's information and he will get stuff ordered up. I know he just placed an order last Friday, but he places orders on a regular basis as well. You can also find the gear at officialgear.com, officialsgear.com. It's the official website of all of USA softball gear. Minnesota Umpire website resources. There's a link here that you can takes you to the manual and to see animations of umpire positions for 1 umpire, 2 umpire, or 3 umpire type of games. Obviously, one of the downsides of one of the things that we're trying to change in Minnesota is trying to get back to the days of getting 2 umpires back on a field. With everybody that we're recruiting, I feel confident that we will get there sooner or later. It's just going to be a long process. There's a lot of teams out there, a lot of games to be played. But this link here gives you guidance to see in animations of where you need to move during certain plays in the umpire system of 1, 2, or 3 umpires. USA softball also has there's I believe a link under the resources tab, and it gives the major rule differences between USA softball, NCAA, and high school softball as well. It's a great tool to have. Just if you want to see exactly what the pitching difference is between NCAA, between high school, and between USA softball. At this time, do we have any questions about anything? If we do, go ahead and unmute yourself and let me know. All right, no questions. I don't think there was anything in the chat. Nope, nothing in the chat either. Again, cruising through this pretty quick. My goal is to be done by 9 o'clock if at all possible. So I will continue to cruise as well as I can here. USA softball registration online. And by the way, just so everybody's aware, I am recording this meeting. It will be available if you need to reference back. I will send out the link to everybody that was on this and that was registered, because I know there's a few people that registered that got tied up tonight with games that they were asked to officiate. So I will make the link available, the video available, once it's done uploading to the cloud. USA softball registration online. USA softball Minnesota umpires, there's a new registration process. If you go to mnsoftball.com and you click on the umpires tab up in the right hand corner, there is once you go to that tab, it will take you directly to a main landing page for umpires. There's a link on there that says register with USA softball at this website. Website's listed there. You don't need to copy it down. If you need it, you can always reach out to me at any time and I can send it directly to you. URL to type in your browser is right there. And to take the USA softball test, the code is right there, 1332. There's the registration link that looks like it down there. And there's also an instruction page to help you get through it if you do get tied up a little bit. It can be a little bit cumbersome this year. It's certainly a little bit different than years past. When you click on the registration link, it will take you to a login that looks like this. Tom, thank you for using yours. If you do not have a username and password, you can even look up and see if you already have an account. You can register over here as well. Once you get fully logged in, you'll go to my umpire page, and then you will start going through each one of the processes. You want to click here to submit your umpire registration. Once you click there, once you fully register, it will give you the green check mark, and we'll have all your contact information up here as well. You want to go back to the home page. It's home plate is the tab right up there. Once you click on the home plate, it will take you back to this tab. Anybody that's 18 or older is required to complete a background check along with ACE Education and Safe Sport. Safe Sport needs to be completed. Tom, can you correct me if I'm wrong? I believe Safe Sport has to be completed by everybody, if I'm correct.
Actually, Jason, I'll back you up just one other thing. The ACE Education, that's for coaches.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I have to fill that out. My fault.
Yep, no, that's okay. But the Safe Sport, yes, it's for anybody that umpires any youth, anybody that's under 18. If you umpire any of those, then you need to do the Safe Sport. So typically our slow pitch people that do not have youth playing would not have to do Safe Sport. It's coming though. I would think very soon. Even right now, USA Softball National Office encourages people to do it.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, and once you go through the Safe Sport, there are 3 lessons that you have to go through and take a small quiz at the end of each one. I think it takes half hour-ish to 45 minutes. But once you complete it, it's a yearly refresher after that. And I think the yearly refresher took me 15 minutes to go through roughly. So it's if you keep all up on it, it's easy enough to do each year. Just everything that we talked about right there. But your insurance will not take effect until you have completed the Safe Sport training and the background check. And this applies to everybody that is 18 years and older, officiating anybody that's 17 years and younger. Again, just the registration link. If you are registered and you need a rule book, please let me know. I have rule books in hand right now, and I will, once you contact me, I will mail them to you directly. Okay, so we're going to talk about registration a little bit more here. If you register yourself, the cost is $70 if you go directly through the website. If for some reason you don't want to go through the website yourself, and I have to register you for some reason, then I'm going to charge you $85. There's a $15 processing fee for using my time to do it. So please get your registration done. It's easiest if you do it. You need to take safe sport. You need to do the background check. You got to do all that anyways before I put you on the field. So if I find out that you're not fully registered and you have games, I will take you off games and we will move on to the next person. But if you do the safe sport, you do the background check, you just simply haven't paid your money, then I will, and you do have your first game, basically your first set of games will be free, courtesy of me paying your registration. Again, if you're registered and you paid online, let me know and I'll ship you a mail, ship you a rule book. Just email me at Minnesota Elite Umpires with your address, and I will get those out to you right away. All right, into the nuts and bolts of the Minnesota Elite Umpires portion of the presentation. So if at this point we've talked a lot about basically all the USA softball stuff, at this point we're going to shift gears and talk about the Minnesota Elite Umpires organization in part. So if this point you just came for the USA softball, I completely understand if you sign off, and we'll go into the Big West stuff now. 2021 leagues. We are covering 7 of them for the Big West softball. Minnetonka, if we're able to, we are going to try to put 2 umpires on a field every night. That's our goal. We'd like to have somebody there to do training with a cadet while they're on the field. Obviously, that was the goal 2 years ago. We did it for probably about 50% of the time, which is far greater than I probably expected my first year. But our goal is to put 2 umpires on the field and have each other learn off of what each other is doing on the field. Prior Lake, Orono, Chanhassen, Chaska, Shakopee, and Wayzata, all 1 umpire per field. League pay. If you're working 1 umpire per game and you're doing 2 games per night, your pay will be $81 per night. If you're working 2 umpires per game in Tonka, the trainer who is there doing the training will get paid $60 per night, and the cadet who is there trying to learn as much as they can and pick the brain of the trainer will get $40 per night. This helps ensure that the trainers are giving up some of their valuable time to get on the field to help the next generation come through. So the objective, and Kelly Wishmeyer is an absolute angel, and she works with me hand in hand in Minnetonka. The objective is to recruit, to train, and to also retain new officials by training them the correct way and not letting them feel like they are out and on an island every time they step on the game. Not right away on game 1 of their careers. Many of us are getting nervous walking on the field yet today. And imagine if you're 13, 14, 15, 16 years old, or it's your first game ever, and it can be very nerve-wracking. Gold League. These are the 14, 16s, and 18s elite teams in the metro area. If for some reason all the Gold League games are scheduled for 2 umpires per game, if for some reason we have you working 1 umpire on that game, you will make $50 per game, and you'll do 2 games each night. If you're working the 2 umpires per game, your pay is $82 per night. And Gold League games are all across the metro area. They could be from Monticello to Forest Lake to Hudson to Lakeville to Wayzata. They could be Shakopee. They could be everywhere. So that schedule we get a little bit later, late May, early June. Arbiter Sports. We are going to utilize Arbiter Sports. It's a fantastic scheduling platform that allows you to manage your own schedule. Each one of us is an independent contractor, and so you are not forced to work any given nights. However, as an assigner, I ask you that if you don't want to work on Tuesday night for some reason, you have the ability to go in there and block out dates. You can go in there and say, I'm going to block the entire day of May 11th because I've got to hang out with my sister and, braid her hair that night. Just go in there, block out the date. I will have a lot more information coming out on Arbiter here in the next couple of days. Arbiter is actually, I'm waiting on a phone call back from them tomorrow to fully activate Arbiter once again. So I will have a lot more information coming out on that, and getting everybody signed up will take a little bit of time, but we're still waiting on schedules for Big West League as well. All right, 2021 tournaments. If you are in the Minnesota Elite Umpire list, email list, you saw a Google form that came out that I asked for your tentative availability on a weekend basis. Simple form. You either clicked yes or no that you were available on a weekend that I had listed. Since that form was dispersed, we've actually lost a couple of things due to insufficient numbers of teams being registered. And this is kind of what our season looks like. We start off this coming weekend, May 1st and 2nd in Prior Lake with Shake the Lake. I'm actually in the process of finalizing the schedule for that right now. And that will be published to those that have signed up previously and get those all ready to go for the weekend. Then we go down to May 22nd and 23rd. Originally that weekend was supposed to be a tremendous opportunity for cadets to get on a field with some training in the 2-umpire system on every single game of the tournament. Unfortunately, it looks like the numbers aren't going to go. And so that leaves us with just a single tournament that's going to be played over in Chaska on 4 fields there. Then we head into June. We've got the Plymouth Wayzata tournament, June 5 and 6. That will be 5 fields up at Wayzata High School. Then we go into June 18th, 19th, and 20th. Father's Day weekend. Probably the biggest weekend in all of softball in the history of Minnesota. That weekend we have Shakopee, who is going to be running 16 fields that weekend. We also have the SNC showcase with Sean Hall. So Shakopee, I just spoke with them yesterday, and right now they're sitting at about 75 teams signed up already. And that number will continue to grow. They will probably expect right around 90 to 100 teams by when it's all said and done. So 16 fields over there. It's an extremely large tournament. But then we also have on top of it, we have the SNC Sean Hall Showcase that is being played down Lakeville, Farmington area. That tournament typically will use up anywhere from 16 to 18 fields. And that tournament is also all 2-umpire system. That's a huge showcase that Sean Hall puts on and has worked with me hand in hand over the last couple of years, myself and Jeremy Shibley. And once again, Jeremy and I will be working hand in hand in that tournament. So if you've seen communication from him or from me, know that he and I are cross-referencing availabilities to ensure that we have everything filled for the weekend. If you haven't filled out the Google form, please do so as soon as you can, or shoot me an email and let me know what you are available, and I will try to make sure I update my documents accordingly. After that weekend, we go into June 26th and 27th. We have a small tournament out in Hutchinson for Raquel Bushman that Rich Polmeyer helps us out on. We also have the Big West qualifiers, which are going to be held in Chanhassen, Minnetrista, and Monticello. So between those 3 sites, or between Chanhassen, Minnetrista, and Monticello, we have roughly 16 fields just on those qualifiers to handle, and then Hutchinson is another 6 fields as well. So back-to-back weekends that we will be extremely busy. and looking for any and all help that we can get those 2 weekends. Then we dive into the month of July. July 9th, 10th, and 11th, we have USA state tournaments, the 10 and 12, 10 and under and 12 and under state tournaments. We go into the Gold State, which is the 14, 16, and 18 elite teams. I believe the tentative plan right now is to be held in Eden Prairie on the 6-7 fields there. And that will be held over those 3 days as well. Typically at the Gold State, Friday's a big day for games. We run games all day Friday, all day Saturday, and then Sunday is just championship Sunday. So there might be just a small handful of games on Sunday. However, what takes over after that is the USA state tournaments for 10s and 12s. The following weekend, we go into Big West qualifiers for the older girls for 16s and 18s. And then we follow them up, the 16 and 18 USA state tournaments the following weekend on the 24th and 25th. And then the following basically that full week is USA Nationals from July 22nd through the 26th. Those are the ones that we talked about earlier, being held in Mankato. Also in Rochester, we have the Northern National up in Fargo, and we have the National down in Sioux Falls. In August 5th through the 8th, we have the Monster Nationals that are being held here locally. And we also have a fantastic tournament that is geared to, basically it's the All-Stars for 12 and under. It's called USA Selects. In the past, it's been held in the northern suburbs. But one of the greatest things about the USA Selects is they put 2 umpires on every game, and they have a trainer on every field, training new umpires, veteran umpires that want to get better in the 2-umpire system. It is probably one of the most fun tournaments that I've been a part of over the last 2 years or 3 years. So, Minnesota Elite Umpires recruiting. One of the things that, Minnesota Elite Umpires wouldn't be possible without each one of you. Without each of you recruiting, the sport will continue to outgrow us. In 2019 alone, Minnesota Elite scheduled over 3,400 games for the year. Sadly, I could not fulfill all 3,400 games. We filled 3,392 of those games, just simply because there was not enough officials available to cover every game every night for all year long. Myself, Pat, John, Rachel, Dallas, especially Lori, we've taken it to heart. We're doing everything we can to help, continue to recruit, to train, and to retain the officials that are the future of the sport. Without them, games are simply scrimmages. They're not games. So we need all hands on deck to continue to recruit. Minnesota Elite Umpires has been on the forefront of trying to get as many new officials in the game as possible. And to all of you that are sharing everything that you have communication-wise from me, kudos to you, and continue to do so. I will continue to not sleep at nights as many times as I need to get as much information into the hands of new officials that we can possibly get. And that is it. Honestly, that is it. My goal was to get through this in 1 hour. 49 minutes is a pretty good pace. A lot of information there. Again, many of you, if not everybody on this list, has my email address, both personal and for the Minnesota Elite Umpires. Again, we can't do any of this without each and every single one of you that are on this call right now. And we can't thank you guys enough for all you do for the sport of officiating and for the game of softball. Continue to reach out to anybody and everybody that you can. Continue to recruit. Continue to help train. And obviously, the more we can train, hopefully we can continue to retain officials for future years going forward. With that, I will once we end this clinic, I'll take the recording, wait for it to upload to the cloud. And if you missed any part of it, any of the information that you want to go back through, I'll send out the recording to you. You can play it at your convenience as needed. And if there's any information inside of this document or this presentation that you want to reach out to me directly, feel free to at any time. My phone is open 24/7 typically. My emails are always open, and I try to respond as quickly as I can. Between this as a second job, it's I try to balance life as well as I can, and so please bear with me if I don't answer within the first hour. I try to get to everything right away though. So if anybody has any questions, go ahead and unmute yourself, ask some questions, and I'll be happy to answer anything I need to. Nothing in the chat room, it looks like. No questions? Well, that sounds fantastic. Well, again, everybody, thank you for taking 54 minutes out of your nights. I appreciate it. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or any of the board members on Minnesota Elite, and we'll be willing and able to help you as much as we possibly can. So everybody have a great night, and umpire strong, and have a great season. Talk to everybody later.